So this might turn into kind of a Let's Get Catty series kind of a thing. Basically, I'm just gonna talk like the fuck about cats, because I am pretty knowledgeable when it comes to cats, because I've been raising them and taking care of them my whole life. So I do know my fair amount of shit. So let's get started, pretty much. So, cat towers. If you are getting a cat, one of the things you absolutely must get, pretty much, is a cat tower and things for them to scratch on, because you don't want them cutting up your carpet or your furniture or whatever the fuck else. And it also depends on how many cats you have. The more cats you have, the more cat towers you want, especially if they don't get along. If you've got two cats that just do not get along to fuck, you can't have any dead ends in your house. So every area of your house must have a cat tower in it, pretty much, to allow them to climb up it, turn around, and escape. So a dead zone would be like a hallway with nothing in it. The way to fix that hallway with nothing fucking in it is put a cat tower at the end that's tall as shit. At least something along the lines of this thing. One of these things will do for a decent escape route. But I would recommend having at least 2 of these kind of large-ass towers in your house, regardless of how many cats you have. At least 2. And put one next to the window. Cats like to look out windows. This is a pretty well-known thing. But of course, you're also going to need, scratching towers. Well, they're not really towers, they're more like scratching poles than anything else, like one of these. But these things do have a lifespan to them. They do not last forever. Basically, this one is pretty much in perfect condition. So this one's perfectly fine. But once your cat tower starts to look like this thing, throw it away. Get rid of it. This shit is no good, throw it out. And eventually, any ones that are made out of carpeting, like this one is, will look like this eventually. Because these little strings here, a cat can get their tongue with one of these wrapped around their tongue, and you can actually have them lose their tongue because of that. So if you are going to keep a cat tower that's got those little strings on it, then at least cut the strings off. That's really the main issue with those, so if you're going to keep something like that, cut the strings off, but really you should just throw it out and get a new one. And there are also other options like this one here. This one here is more made out of rope instead of carpet. So this one you won't have as much of the issue with it, but it'll still get a little stringy, but these are a lot more fragile and just sort of break. Plus this one's got a cat toy on the end, so. Ooh, 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 ooh. Timon doesn't want to come into the shot of the video. But other sort of scratching pad stuff I would recommend would be one of these things. They're pretty much just pieces of fucking cardboard. And really, they're all great. Cats love the shit out of cardboard. Hell, you could just put a box in your room and they'll scratch the living fuck out of the cardboard. They're actually horrible for that. Cats love boxes. But the only thing I would warn with cat towers, especially big-ass ones like these, they can get expensive as fuck. I have one in here that's worth over $1,000. And it's almost ceiling height. So they are expensive. Though the one over here probably is at least a $400 scratching tower. And I have 2 over there that are each $300. So cat towers can get extremely expensive, but they're a must if you have cats. Because honestly, it's just plain mean not to have a cat tower, especially if you've got cats that don't get along, like Timon and Simba. But there's also cat trees. Cat trees are a little different because most of them actually will go up to the ceiling and they'll have this little stopper that pushes into the ceiling, so it's ceiling height. But usually it's just like this long-ass pillar with boards on levels up. And all of my cats I've had adore the fucking things. But I always have problems finding a place that sells them. But those I would highly recommend, except for there is a problem with them. They are not stable. After a little bit of use, chances are it's going to fall down. Especially if you've got cats that run and jump onto it or jump off it. It is going to fall down at least once a month minimum. So they are not stable things. However, you can get ones that are a lot more stable. Yes, how are you doing? Yeah. So that's the only thing I'd warn with the actual cat trees that hook up to the ceiling, is that they're very, very poor stability. But the wider the base is, the more stability they have, pretty much. So if you're going to get one of those, at least get one with a wide, wide, wide base. Otherwise, it's going to fall over a lot. Yeah. So Yeah.